Wonderful. Well, hello, hello. How you doing today?
Very good, very good. How are you?
Oh, doing wonderful. Thank you so much. We're so excited to talk to you about this movie because this is such a cool movie and just one that's just so different. Of course, we first got a peek at it at Fantastic Fest, but now the rest of the world gets you get to unveil it to the world. You got to be excited about this, right?
Oh, I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and it's like a dream come true to be able to release this movie in the U.S. Yes, I'm very excited
Hmm.
about it. And
Yeah.
it's my fifth movie, but it's the first one that actually gets a theatrical premiere in the U.S. So that's very exciting.
Hmm. Well, and of course, this was very hard for you to do, I'm sure, especially to do it right. But when you have that vision, nothing could stop you, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, there are challenges in making this kind of thing, but there are also the big payoffs when you're watching this going, "Ah, see, this is what I get to do for a living." Do you remember that moment where you're on set just looking around going, all right, I'm doing it?
Yes, totally. It's I always grew up knowing I wanted to make movies.
Mhm.
And even this movie is a movie I've been dreaming for like 8 years. I wrote this on
Yeah.
2016, and it took a long time to get it financed, and also to get it to a point where I could do it the way I dreamt this movie. Uh,
Hmm.
and then when I actually shot the movie, it ended up being in a very strange time of my life. Something I never thought would happen in my life was happening while I was shooting Parvulos. And I guess it all
Mm.
came together for a reason. And I'm glad that's when this movie happened. That's when this movie needed to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, and a lot of people talk about working with kids and the dangers of that, but
Yeah.
but these kids are incredible, and just got to know where in the world did you find them?
Well, it was a big challenge finding these kids, a huge challenge. Uh, there's two types of filmmakers. The filmmaker that writes a movie already thinking of adjusting the challenges in the script. For example, I have this friend of mine, great director, very smart, very wise. He's made 15 movies. He told me once, whenever I write a role of a child, I put very little dialogue on him because I know he's a child actor. And then
Mm.
there's the other type of filmmaker like myself, where I just write whatever the fuck I have in my mind, and then I see how to make it happen. So when we actually got to pre-production, talking to my casting director and read the script, we were like, how we're going to find these actors, because it's not only children, it's children with a lot of emotions, it's children with guns, children choking people or being choked, children in fights. It's not easy to find, and these kids carry the whole movie on their shoulders. Somebody told me, Isaac, you made a 2-hour movie carried by three characters who are kids. So that was really, really tough. uh, but I found ways of making it work. And what I
Mhm.
found was um, uh, we Rocio Belmont, the casting director, who has done already 3 movies with me. She's great with kids. We opened up the casting process from a long time before, and we for almost 8 months we looked at a lot of kids. The actor who plays Benjamin, the youngest kid, was the easiest to
Mhm.
find. The moment we found Mateo, I was like, that's him. The brother in the middle was kind of hard to find, but the hardest was Salvador, the oldest brother, because
Mhm.
originally I had this idea of he was supposed to be younger. He was supposed to be like 11, 12, almost like entering his teens. So now you see the movie and you feel it's one teenager and two young boys. Originally, I wanted him to feel like three boys, and he should be like an 11, 12-year-old boy, and kind of entering adolescence, still not sure what he is. And then that scene with the girl with Valeria, it was going to
Yeah.
play out completely different, very different. But it was very hard to find an actor that age that could do all this, because it's a very physical role. He needs to yell a lot. He needs to fight, walk with the crutches and with no leg and run. And he's a very authoritarian figure, almost like a military general. So every time
Mhm.
we had auditions for that role, the kids that were 11, 12, they would just look very, very, very young, like it just looked like they were playing, like it was fake, like you wouldn't buy it.
Mhm.
So my casting director told me, Isaac, we need to age him up. We need to look for older kids that are like 16, 17. I really fought against that because I wanted that essence of a young kid with an older girl. But once we found Felix, he's a fantastic actor. He could really do all that. And I had to kind of let go of this idea I had for that specific scene in favor of something that works better throughout the rest of the movie.
Mhm. Absolutely. Well, and do you think about what you would do in this situation? Because I have no idea what I would do. I would definitely be gone first.
Yeah, you have to think of what's going to favor the entire movie. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, I know that people. I love it when people take big swings and make something different, and it stands out to people. And I know that people find that inspirational too. So, what kind of advice would you give to other filmmakers that want to do something like this and follow in your footsteps?
Well, young filmmakers that want to make a movie, I would tell them you can do it. That you are gonna do it. I would say uh, three advices. First of all, watch a lot of cinema. Watch
Mm-hmm.
the cinema you want to make. If you want to make comedies, watch a lot of comedies. Old ones, new ones, independent, foreign, US. If you want to make horror, watch a lot of horror. Just watch a lot of cinema. Then gain experience either making your own films. Now everyone has a camera here. So now there's no excuse. And also gain experience working in bigger films, not yourself, not your own, and combining those two experiences, you'll discover what is your voice. And the third advice, and the most important one, this is something a great filmmaker told me once. If you have a project that nobody believes in it, people tell you it's too ambitious, people tell you you're not going to make it happen, people tell you you should give up, it usually means you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Keep trying.
Yeah, I love that. And so, but of course, in making these kind of things aren't easy. So, what do you keep in mind that keeps you on the right path always? Like when the days are long or things are just, maybe the scene's not working.
Sorry, what? I didn't understand that question.
What do you keep in mind? Like, what's your mindset to just get through some of the harder days?
Okay, well, your mindset is just remember that you have the job of your dreams. You're making you're living the dream. You're making a movie, and sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
oh fuck, I need to wake up at 5 a.m. I need to go to these woods, or it's raining in the middle of the night, and we won't be able to finish the shoot because it's raining, or we're going behind, and I feel so much pressure on your shoulder. Remember that you're not there because somebody put a gun in your head. You're there
Mhm.
because you want to make a movie. You're there because this is what we do. This is why we get
Mhm.
into battle. We get into battle because we tell stories, because we create magic, because we are architects of dreams. And it's always going to be challenging. There's going to be challenges, but it's all worth it because you're creating something that is going to last forever and a story that will live forever. Yes.
Uh, Beautifully said. And of course, with this one, it's meant for entertainment. But what are you hoping that people will kind of take away or think about or talk about afterwards? Because you almost can't watch this without talking about it with somebody.
Well, I hope people are surprised by it. People
Mhm.
are surprised by the roller coaster and that it took them to places they were not expecting. That's something I would hope. And I also hope, people can understand that this is a movie about family and about the importance of saving a family and of keeping a family together no matter what. And this is also a movie about how parents take care of children, and then it's the other way around, right?
Yeah.
So how people can relate to that,
Mhm.
and I hope if the horror of the movie is very human, it can touch people in their hearts, in a personal experience related to either their families, their loved ones, their kids. Like some people have told me it made me think of taking care of my ill father or ill mother, or made me think of my brother. So I hope people can connect to whatever personal experience they have with the movie.
Good. Well, so my co-host is Drew Pearson in American football, one of our great Dallas Cowboys. He caught the Hail Mary and went in the Hall of Fame. Of course, everybody knows the Hail Mary, but we got to ask you your Hail Mary moment, the moment in your life or career where you just had to go for it and it worked out for you. What do you suppose that was for you?
I remember when I was growing up, just starting to be a filmmaker, and I was just
Mhm.
21 years old, and I had the experience to study in New York at the New York Film Academy, and I discovered that's. I mean, I always knew I wanted to make films from the moment when I was a kid, but that summer, when I discovered I had the creativity, the input, the strength, the obsessive personality, the passion, everything, when I decided to take the camera without permission overnight and go to the subway and shoot my short film the subway. And that summer, when I discovered or rediscovered like Michael Haneke and Gaspar Noé and Tarantino and the Coen brothers,
Mhm.
and I used to go to Sims every night, the video store, and just buy all these DVDs. And I was like almost devouring cinema, like watching movies every night. starting to, that was a moment when I had the decision of, okay, this is what I need to do. And I just kept pushing after that. I started making one short film every week. It was called the Clip of the Week project. And I did 50 short films in 1 year. And then it became short of the month, and I made 12 short films in the next year, one every month. And then I just kept pushing, pushing, pushing. And I would say in this movie, in Parvulos, the most challenging or confirmative moment was when we did that ritual in the end, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It suddenly starts raining a lot, and the kids are already tied with in the trees, tied with the rope, and it takes half an hour to untie them and tie them again. So even the mother said, "Don't untie them." So we had like production assistants with umbrellas standing near the trees, and the kids just staying there. And I had 150 people in this middle of the mountain, and it's raining, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. And we had to wait for 6 hours. It's horrible because a night shoot begins at 6 p.m., ends at 6 a.m. So dinner is like 1 a.m. in the middle of the night. So we are like having dinner, and I'm like looking at my notes, cracking my head on how am I going to make this happen. And then somebody just told me, Isaac, you need to stop. We need to go home so the insurance can pay for this shooting day. So we just had to stop, and you get home full of mud and water on your clothes at 4 a.m., smelling like shit, and knowing that you didn't shoot a single frame of film. It was tough. But then I remember doing my dream and making the story that I want to take. So I'm just going to push forward. And we found a way to get money from the insurance and to recoup that day. And we did one of my favorite sequences of the entire movie. So it's always about not giving up and keeping the fight.
I'm so glad you did. Well, last thing before we let you go, what can we look forward to coming up next? Because I can't wait to see what you got next.
Well, I cannot say this because I really want this to happen, but I'm working on the adaptation of one of my favorite writers that I hope it happens soon. That's one of my projects. I also have a science fiction project in Mexico that I'm really pushing forward. And I'm also working on other horror movies. So I have plenty of things in development, and I'm just open for whatever happens first.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much for being with us. Really appreciate your time. Really can't wait to tell everybody check out this movie and looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you, Paul. It's been a pleasure. And yeah, don't forget, Parvulos opens nationwide April 4th in all theaters in the nation. It's very important that people go on the first weekend. So hopefully we do well. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All
Thank
right, we'll
you.
see you soon. Okay,
Thank
bye-bye.
you. Bye.